Welcome to lesson number 5. Lesson number 5 is going to take you through the tips and the tools of the SMART software. The tips and tools are going to make you more comfortable and make you better at using the SMARTboard software. It's going to kind of help you interact with it in a more convenient way. The first thing that we're going to learn about are the tips and tricks that actually help you modify or change what you're doing in SMART. The second thing we're going to do is learn about the tools, how to modify them, add them, or subtract them. Now that we've taken a look at the actual interface of this thing, we're going to take a closer look at some of the more important tools that you find with the SMARTboard software, whether they're in the floating toolbar or in the notebook software. Then we're going to take a look at a few of the little tips and tricks that might make your life easier as you work your way through the software. The first and probably the easiest tool in the entire world to use is located right here. And like I said in the last lesson, it's called the shade tool. Let's say that you have actually written a series of answers here like this. We've got the word dog, the word cat, and the word bunny. And what you're going to do is you're going to give these clues, and all you're doing is you're working with a really young grade. You're this teacher that wants kids to actually learn about how the explanation of properties of things can relate to you deductively or rationalizing or figuring out what something is. And by that, you're going to see what I mean here in just a second. But first, we have to employ the shade. Everything's gone. The shade went up. Everything's absolutely hidden. And you'll notice that I've got these little circles on the left down here, the top up here, and over on the side. That's because those give me the opportunity to actually take this shade and pull it down, just like I'm revealing something. So I could reveal part of this word. And I could say, class, what has 2 ears? And they'd say, a rabbit, a bunny, a horse. And you'd say, close. I'll give you a little more of a hint. Okay, what has 2 ears and a long tail? Well, now they're going to start narrowing it down more and more, and you can see how this lesson would progress. What has 2 ears and barks and has a long tail? And you say dog. Yay, the kids yelled and they got the answer right. They got it correct. Or let's say you're even more sophisticated. You're teaching a history lesson about the Civil War, and you have all of these different parts of the war that actually come together. The War of Antietam, and the Gettysburg Address, and all those things that are actually in there and in a sequential fashion. And you have the students, and you're giving them hints, and you're revealing each of those answers as you're pulling this thing down to say, it wasn't just the War of Antietam, there was a cat there, okay? You get what I'm saying. At least I hope you do. The shade can reveal things as you see fit. It can even reveal them from side to side, not just from top to bottom. So you can hide answers, put things over in the corner, and keep them hidden until you want to reveal them later. If you didn't catch what I just did, I'll do that for you one more time. With the shade, you can pull this down, and there's a big red X in the upper right-hand corner. If the cameraman can come up here for me, I can just tap that, and boom, that shade is gone. So let's say I didn't want to use the shade. I just eradicate it that way. Let's go back to how do we make a brand new page? Because you'll notice that we're starting to create our very own document here. We've got 1, 2, 3 pages, and to create a brand new one, I hit that new page button back to slate white. Well, we just capped off taking a look at the shade tool, and now we're going to move over here to the magic pen tool. And there are 3 reasons why it's called the magic pen tool, and you're going to discover all 3 and how fun this thing can be to use actually beyond its actual practical use. So make sure that you have it selected, and I can come down here and I could write any kind of text I want to. And when I'm finished writing the text, if I wait for just a little bit, the magic should come into place. You can actually watch it do this little disappearing act, as if you were teaching in a Harry Potter movie or something like that. The second marvelous thing that you can actually do with the magic pen tool is you can focus on something. And to focus on something, I mean that you can actually draw a circle here, and what it will do is it will collapse everything around it, make it dark, and then you can move this circle around as a point of focus. it's sort of like it's spotlighting something. I'm going to X out of it and reuse it one more time so that you can see the real practical application of this in two different places.